Well, we heard a bird gobble. We sat down, we heard a bird gobble, and so we were about 15 yards apart. I looked at Jenks, he looked at me. We just both popped up and we just ran back out to the road that went down to the corner. And walking in there, we heard him gobble once and went, yeah, there he is. And we kind of sped up our pace because it was starting to get a little bit light. And then we were walking and walking and walking. Next thing we knew, boom, a loud gobble. And we just were like scrambling. I sat right down next to the closest tree I could find, which was like right next to me, but with no cover at all. And then Jenks ran back in the woods, like 150 yards. He called right away, gobbled right back to him. It just kept gobbling nonstop. I think he only gobbled like 3 or 4 times. And when it got about 60, 70 yards out, I saw it coming through I could see the white coming through the blackjacks. And then it slowed down when it got like 50 yards and 40 yards, and then there's a black one with it. It pulled out in front of it, and it was kind of like running point for him. And every time the white one would gobble, who stayed in full strut the whole time, every time the white one would gobble, the black one would just gobble right away. Every time. It was like I had the gun up as soon as I saw him in the distance, so it was on my knee, but I started shaking every time he got closer and closer. And then you got about 40 yards out, and they both stopped, and the white one still stayed in full strut, but the black one stood and looking sideways to me, just looking out of his left eye, I could tell. And but he didn't move for about 2 minutes. And then he turned around, went back, and then crossed the road right down in front of me, the black one. And I thought, you know what? Should I take the shot on the black one? Because he's the first one, that I could shoot. And I was like, nah, the white one's coming. And the white one stopped behind like 3 trees. It seemed like forever. And finally, I just took that last step, and pow! He was down. There was white feathers flying everywhere. And I called Jenks, and I said, Jenks, where are you? And he was like, I'm lost. And finally he came, but like a minute later. But
how far back was he?
And,
Jenks.
Jenks was like 100, 150 yards. He said, so he was, but I could hear him call. It didn't sound like it was that far, but he was back in there.
Jenks, what was going through your mind, like when you guys were going in there?
Please shoot. Please shoot.
Because he must have gobbled 25 times at, say, 40 yards. Where it was too thick to shoot, and he was just a little bit, like I knew he was, kind of on the edge of it, and they just didn't move. They stayed still, and every time the white would gobble, the black one gobble, white buck, and so that must have been driving Jenks crazy. He just gobble, gobble, gobble.
Jenks, did you think it was going to happen?
Well, we'd heard the similar story twice this week already about calling this thing in and he hanging up way on out, but I was just keeping my fingers crossed.
What'd you do differently?
I backed way up, maybe 150, 200 yards behind the shooter. I just wanted to make sure.
And you had a blind going?
No, I just sat next to a tree with no cover at all, and I was like, man, I am so exposed. But I got the gun up and it was up before they came in range. I had it like 3/4 away, and I just got the last. I was kind of resting it on my elbow, had my knee up good, and I had a pretty comfortable spot. And
were you getting like tired?
I was getting a little bit tired, but when the black one stepped out, that's when I started shaking, because I was thinking, okay, relax, don't shake, you're gonna miss the shot if you shake, and aim right below, at his throat and all this stuff. And when the black one stepped out and the white one stopped, that's when the shakes they came on hard, man. And I was like, man, you better be. My knee was shaking, my arms were shaking, and as soon as he stepped out, I just didn't waste any time. I remember thinking shoot his neck, but when I shot, I don't even remember actually putting the bead on it. I just remember aiming and shooting.
Did he drop like a leaf?
He flopped right away, man.
And what happened to the other one?
The other one I didn't watch because I was watching the white one just to make sure I got him. Because the last bird I shot at here, I rolled him and I thought he was gone. I looked at the guy I was with, and when I walked over there 2 minutes later, he was gone. So like this one, I was not taking my eye off of him. So the other one, I don't know if it flew or what.